Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse Frugally, still doing the 12 days of Christmas. Today is day 9, which is the countdown to Christmas. This might be one of my favorite. Boy, I am loving this one today. I hope that you love it as much as I do. I honestly did not have an idea on what to do for the countdown to Christmas for the longest time. I was actually kind of stressing about it. But it sort of just fell together. I love that when a plan comes together. So I am starting with one of these chalkboard things that I got free at my dump on the Good Table. I think they sell them at the Dollar General maybe. And I am going to begin by painting this in a vintage chalk paint because that is one, the style that I'm going for, and two, I need the background to be a lighter color for the rest of the project. So once I get this completely covered with 2 coats and it is dry, I am moving on to the next part. Now I have a pack of cardstock in different colors, and I just picked a color that I thought would go okay with the rest of this. I would have liked something a little bit more muted, but this is what I had. And also these numbers come from the Dollar Tree. I bought them a couple of years ago for $1, but I know that you can get them in the school section still. And all I am doing here is just putting 1 through 9 and a 0 on this, and then I'm going to cut these out and make tags using one of the corner rounding things that you get in scrapbooking stuff. And then once I have that done, I am going to put a 1-hole punch on each of them. Then I took my black StazOn ink and I went around and distressed the edges of each of the numbers just to make that look a bit more vintage. Now, I was going to wet distress the chalkboard back to the black around the edges, but since I had my ink pad out anyway, I decided to just go ahead and use that and go around the outside edges of the chalkboard to again make that look more vintage and also to pull these colors together. I have a tendency to use more browns in my home than black, so in this case, since I was using black numbers, I wanted to make sure that I also use some black ink here and there to use that as a distress. And I had this little tag left over from an item I was using in yesterday's the mantle banner. This came on top, so I just flipped it around to the plain edge, and I had these little tiny Scrabble letters and could only spell out days, but I decided I was going to do days till Christmas and then didn't like it, so I decided to do days until Christmas and then just put that on there with a black marker. And once I had that done, I hot glued the Scrabble pieces where I wanted them and then embellished the top of that when I attached it to the top of the chalkboard. Now I just wanted to add a little bit of greenery at the top and a little bow. The ribbon came from the Dollar Tree. I had these picks left over from Christmas last year, and I did want to brush on a little bit of that same color paint just to pop that off and make it look a little bit more like it had snowed. And then once I have that part done, they sell these little plastic hooks that you can get at the Dollar Tree with an adhesive back, and I wanted to just put 2 of them on there so that I could hang my number tags from that. And then once I had that positioned where I wanted it, peeled that off. I was happy with that one. And before I move on, I do want to mention this is yet again a collaboration with Brenda from Rustic and Lace and Amanda from Molly Cole Creations. They are hosting, and I really appreciate them doing this. It's been a lot of fun. Make sure you check out in my description box their channels, as well as the playlist of all the other creators who have been involved in this challenge. And here is this first one finished. I think it looks so adorable, very vintage, and just a lot of fun. I had a little basket that held coasters, and so I just took the coasters out and put the rest of those little tags in there so that we could change the numbers each day counting down to Christmas. I would love to know if you do an advent of any type or if you do a countdown to Christmas and how you like this one. Make sure if you do like it, you give me a like so that YouTube will continue to push my channel out to others. Now I am moving on to the second one, and this one is my absolute favorite. I am painting 3 small boxes that I've had in my stash since I purchased glasses this year. I needed new glasses, and I found an online service, Buy Eye Direct, and they had 3 pair for $100. So I was able to get 2 pair of glasses and 1 pair of sunglasses for $100. So check that out. And that gave me these 3 boxes, which they came in, and I glued those boxes together, and then I am using the same vintage chalk paint to give this a cohesive color all the way around, and keeping the tabs of the boxes all going in the same direction so the little drawer can pull out. And I thought this would be adorable for the last 3 days before Christmas to count down. Now, I had printed some little tags on rice paper for a project the other day that I did not use, and I got them from the crazycraftlady.com, which I found on Pinterest, but I think you can get directly. If you go there, you do have to give your email address, and she will send you the printables. And I printed them on rice paper, and then I just tore around the pictures and just decoupage them on one on each box with Mod Podge here. And then I did take and Mod Podge the entire top of all 3 boxes to make sure that the final finish had the same sheen, because this Mod Podge does have a little bit of a shine to it. And then once these 3 are dry, I wanted to make sure these drawers still pull out. I am going to go around and distress this entire thing again with that black ink to pull this together with the black that's in the boots and in some of the other graphics, as well as these little satin fabric drawer pulls, and to match also the other piece that I just made. But I do feel like the pictures themselves are a little bit too clean and not vintage looking enough for me. You could certainly leave this step out, but I decided to use my dark antiquing wax, which is mixed with water, and kind of brush over this here and there to give this a much more vintage look to match my home. So once I have this good and distressed, now I have the most adorable little tags that I bought 7, 8, 9 years ago. I don't even know how long ago. They've been in my scrapbooking, and I love them, and I have not had a reason to use them. So I was really delighted to be able to use these today. And I am going to put them in the 3, 2, 1 order so that we can count down, and pulling the last one on Christmas Eve. And then Christmas, of course, will be Christmas. So that will take care of itself. Now, I do not know what I am going to put in these little things at the moment, because my granddaughter's 17 months. I can't do a candy bar or anything like that. So I'll probably have to get a couple of little toys or something. Now, I did decide that I would like to hang this one. I could leave it obviously on a table, and I could have done it up the other way so you pull the drawers up, but I think in her case it might be easier to pull the drawers down, and they're in there kind of snug, so I don't think they're going to fall out depending on how heavy I put of an item I put in them. So I am just taking that, again, that Dollar Tree ribbon that is kind of in a twine feel, And then I am going to add a little bit of some greens that I had picked off of an item last Christmas and didn't use. And then I am going to add a bow to the side of that. And then I decide to hang this on my wreath because it happens to match so nicely with it for now. So I would love to know what you think of both of these countdowns to Christmas, and whether or not you and your family actually do this either as an Advent or as a countdown for Christmas. Do not forget to check out the description box that has the playlist of all of the other creators, and please make sure that you stay tuned for the next few days of this 12 days of Christmas. I hope that you are following along and that you are subscribed and that you've hit the bell so that you can be alerted whenever I post a new video. I appreciate your stopping by, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.